The lights of the starship Virelion flashed red again and again, painting the white walls in a pulsing glow. Alarms screamed across the medical bay. Technicians ran between consoles, shouting codes and scanning life signs that made no sense. Medic Loran sprinted through the corridor, clutching a small metal case to his chest. Inside it was a glowing blue vial, the most expensive antidote known in 3 sectors. His breathing was sharp and fast, but he didn't slow down. He couldn't. The intercom voice echoed above him, cold and robotic. Warning, crew member critical. Species classification, human condition, terminal. Loran's heart sank. He had seen humans before, and even after years of working with them, they still confused him. Tough, stubborn, reckless. But this one, Captain Raynor Hale, was something else entirely. Captain Hale was the only human on the Virelion, a cargo and rescue ship operated by the Zeral Alliance. The crew was mostly composed of pale-skinned Virelions with 4 fingers and large eyes that reflected blue light. Hale stood out among them, tall, scarred, and always wearing that crooked smile that looked both friendly and dangerous at the same time. He had joined the crew after saving them from pirates 2 years ago. Since then, every alien aboard respected him, and feared him just a little. Hale had once wrestled a burning power conduit with his bare hands just to stop a reactor meltdown. When asked why, he simply said, "Didn't want to see the place explode during lunch." But this time, even Hale might have gone too far. Loran pushed open the medbay doors, shouting, "Where is he? Where's the human?" A trembling technician pointed down the hall. "Mess hall."
He's still eating, sir."
"Eating?" Loran couldn't believe it. "He's dying and he's eating?" He sprinted again, his boots echoing on the metal floor. The ship's corridors twisted in perfect circles and the hum of the engines vibrated beneath his feet. The antidote case glowed brighter as if it understood the urgency. It had to be delivered within 5 minutes, or the human's nervous system would collapse completely. Loran reached the mess hall door and slammed it open. What he saw froze him in place. There, sitting at a metal table surrounded by empty food trays, was Captain Raynor Hale, alive, relaxed, and smiling. In his hand was a bright red fruit that pulsed faintly with black veins. The fruit looked almost alive. Every alien in the room stood back in horror. Some were covering their mouths, others whispering prayers. Loran recognized the fruit immediately. A Viren death apple, one of the most poisonous organisms ever discovered. It grew only on the acidic swamps of Virelion Prime. 1 drop of its juice could stop a heart in seconds, and Hale was eating it. "Captain Hale!" Loran shouted. "Stop! Drop that now!" Hale looked up, confused. "Oh, hey Doc, you hungry? These are kinda spicy." "Spicy?" Loran nearly dropped the antidote case. "That's lethal. You'll be dead in seconds." Hale frowned slightly and looked at the fruit. "Really? Huh. That explains the tingling." Loran rushed forward, pulling out his scanner. The readings went wild. Red lights, sharp beeps, warnings flashing across the display. "Your vitals are collapsing. You have systemic neurotoxin exposure." But Hale just leaned back in his chair, calm as if someone had just told him the weather. "Relax, Doc, I feel fine." "You're not fine," Loran snapped. He opened the antidote case, revealing the glowing vial. "This is the only cure. You need it now." Hale raised an eyebrow. "You brought medicine for a snack?" "This isn't a joke," Loran shouted. "That apple kills within minutes. Even our strongest soldiers die from the fumes. You can't just eat it?" Hale grinned, took another bite, and chewed loudly. Too late. Gasps filled the room. The medic's scanner beeped faster, showing readings no species had ever recorded. Heart rate spiking, temperature climbing, blood toxicity off the charts. And yet the human looked stronger, not weaker. Loran couldn't believe it. Your cells are resisting the poison." "How?" Hale shrugged. "Dunno, maybe my mom's cooking prepared me for this." "This is serious," Loran almost shouted. "You should be in a coma." "Relax, Doc," Hale said again, tossing the apple core aside. "We humans eat worse on Fridays." Loran stared at him. "How are you alive?" The human leaned forward, his blue eyes shining with quiet amusement. "Maybe you built your antidote wrong." The medic blinked. What?" "Maybe," Hale said slowly. "It's not poison to me." The room went completely silent. The ship's engines hummed softly in the distance. The medic's scanner still blinked red, but it wasn't showing death anymore. It was showing stabilization. Somehow the poison was neutralizing itself inside the human's body. Loran stepped back, speechless. The antidote vial trembled in his hand, useless now. He whispered, "Impossible." Hale smiled. "Nah, just human." He stood up, stretched, and looked around at the terrified crew. "All right, I'm gonna get another one of those apples. Anyone want half?" No one spoke. They only watched as he picked up another glowing red fruit from the basket, bit into it, and chewed like it was nothing more than a crisp snack. Loran slowly lowered his scanner. His eyes stayed locked on the human, the impossible creature who could turn death into lunch. He whispered softly to himself, almost afraid to say it aloud. "What? Are you?" And somewhere in the ship's silent hum, the human just laughed. The room stayed silent long after Captain Hale's laughter faded. Every alien eye followed his every move, afraid to breathe too loud. The medic, Loran, could still hear the soft crunch of the human's teeth biting into another death apple. The sound alone made his stomach twist. The poison from that fruit could dissolve a drone's circuits. It could kill a full-grown Varelian in less than 20 seconds. Yet the human sat there, calm, casual, and somehow amused by all the panic around him. Loran's scanner still blinked red, its readings climbing and falling like a broken heartbeat. He checked it again, thinking maybe the device had malfunctioned. But it was accurate, painfully accurate. The human wasn't dying. He was getting better. Loran swallowed hard and took a slow step forward. His voice trembled, but he forced it out. "Captain Hale, I need you to stop eating that right now." Hale looked up with that same lazy grin. "Why, you said it's deadly. Might as well make it count." The medic's 4 fingers tightened around his scanner. "You're treating this like a joke. Do you even realize what's happening inside your body right now?" Hale leaned back in his chair, one arm resting behind his head. "Doc, I've been poisoned before. Shot twice, electrocuted once. This one's not even spicy." One of the younger crew members whispered to another, "How is he still alive?" "Quiet," Loran hissed. He moved closer to the human, scanning again. The device beeped, showing something new. Hale's blood cells were glowing faintly, absorbing the toxin like it was food. His oxygen levels were rising. His temperature was perfect. His pulse steady and strong. "This can't be," Loran whispered. "You're absorbing the poison?" Hale raised an eyebrow. "Guess so. It's kinda warm in the chest, though. Like a good drink on a cold day." "You're metabolizing death," Loran snapped. "No species in the galaxy can do that. Not even the Varelian war beasts." Hale tilted his head. "Maybe you've just been eating the wrong stuff." Loran's hand shook. This was beyond science, beyond reason. He'd seen alien parasites that could survive plasma fire, but this was something different. This wasn't survival, it was domination. The poison wasn't killing Hale. Hale's body was killing the poison. The medic turned to the others. "Get Commander Reth in here now." Within moments, the door slid open and Commander Reth stepped in, tall, armored, and clearly irritated. "What is the meaning of this emergency?" Loran pointed to Hale. "The human has ingested a death apple, 2 of them, and he's fine." Reth's expression froze. He looked at Hale, then at the half-eaten fruit on the table. His voice dropped to a cold whisper. "You're joking." "I wish I was," Loran said. "He should be dead." Hale waved a hand. "Don't be so dramatic. I've had worse things on my planet. You should see our cafeteria food." The commander's eyes narrowed. "You understand that fruit kills everything, right? Even contact can burn through our armor." Hale shrugged. "Then you probably shouldn't touch it." Reth stepped back instinctively while Hale smirked. The room felt heavier now, not because of the poison, but because of the realization slowly crawling through everyone's mind. This human wasn't just immune. He was adapting. Loran tried to speak calmly. "Captain, your body is showing signs of molecular restructuring. It's like you're learning from the toxin." Hale stood up, stretching his arms. "Learning's good. Means next time I can eat 2 at once." Reth's jaw tightened. "Human arrogance will destroy us all one day. Or save you," Hale replied smoothly. He turned to Loran. "So, Doc, you gonna keep staring, or are we done?" The medic took a deep breath. "You don't understand. This could change everything we know about biology. If your system adapts like this, you could survive anywhere. Any planet, any toxin, even a vacuum maybe," Hale laughed. "Now that would be a neat trick." The crew stayed silent. No one dared move closer to the human, who stood there wiping his hands like he had just finished a normal meal. Then, without warning, Hale coughed. A sudden deep sound that made everyone flinch. The medic rushed forward again, scanning fast. The reading spiked so high the device shut down with a loud beep. Loran froze. Your energy output just tripled. Feels like caffeine, Hale muttered, rolling his shoulders. But stronger, Commander Reth frowned. You are a danger to this crew. Hale looked at him, eyes calm but sharp. I'm the one who saved this crew. Remember that. The tension in the room thickened. Loran could feel his pulse in his ears. He didn't know whether to call for quarantine or a research team. The human was something new, something terrifying. But then Hale did something none of them expected. He picked up the glowing antidote case from Loran's hand, opened it and stared at the blue liquid inside. This what you were running with? He asked. Loran nodded. It's the only known cure. We've used it on 50 species. Hale smiled faintly and set the case down. Guess you can save it for someone who needs it, Reth glared. You mock our medicine? No, Hale said softly, his tone changing. I just don't need saving. He turned, walking out of the mess hall, the red light still flashing around him. His boots echoed against the floor, and slow, steady, confident. And as the door closed behind him, Loran whispered the thought that was now spreading across every mind on the ship. He doesn't survive danger, the medic said quietly. He evolves through it. The commander didn't reply. He just stared at the closed door and muttered, Then may the stars help anyone who tries to kill him. The medbay was silent except for the hum of the ship's engines. Rows of blinking lights reflected off silver walls, filling the room with a cold, rhythmic glow. Medic Loran stood over his workstation, replaying the scanner data for the 100th time. Every reading told the same impossible story. The human wasn't poisoned. He was changing. Loran's hand trembled as he set down the datapad. His mind screamed for logic, but nothing about this was logical. The antidote case still sat beside him unopened, glowing faintly blue in the dim light. It was supposed to be the cure, a miracle serum that cost more than a starship. Yet the man it was made to save had simply refused it. Across the room, the medbay doors slid open with a hiss. Captain Raynor Hale stepped in, wearing that same crooked smile, a half-eaten death apple in his hand. Morning, Doc, you look like you've seen a ghost. Loran turned sharply. How are you still eating those?
I told you they're lethal.
Hale bit into the fruit again, chewed and shrugged. Guess I'm just not on your diet, not funny. Loran snapped. He snatched up the antidote case and held it toward him. You need to take this. I'm ordering you to. The human leaned against a counter, unbothered. You're ordering me to take medicine for something I don't have. Loran's voice rose. You have it. You just don't feel it because your body hasn't crashed yet. Once it reaches your brainstem, Doc, Hale interrupted softly. If it was going to kill me, it would have done it hours ago. He tossed the apple core into a tray, where it hissed and burned a small hole through the metal. Loran jumped back, his eyes wide. Hale only grinned. Okay, maybe a little toxic. Loran clenched his jaw. This isn't normal. You are not normal. Hale gave a small laugh. Yeah, that's what my teachers used to say. The medic slammed his hand on the counter. This isn't a joke, Captain. Do you know what that fruit does? It breaks down molecular bonds and it liquefies tissue. The antidote can stop it, but only if taken before your system collapses. Hale's eyes softened. Doc, I appreciate the concern, but I don't need it. My system's already handled the problem. Handled it? Loran repeated, stunned. You handled it? Hale nodded. Yeah, feels like my stomach learned how to digest it after the first one. Now it's easy. Loran's mouth opened, but no words came out. He had studied hundreds of species, dissected alien organs, seen nanite-enhanced soldiers, but this was something primal and terrifying. It wasn't science. It was instinct. You can't just adapt to that level of poison, Loran said at last. It takes generations of evolution. Hale pushed off the counter and stepped closer. Maybe that's just how we're built. Back home, we call it survival of the stubborn. Loran stared up at him. The human's pulse was steady, skin warm, eyes bright. Not a single sign of weakness. If anything, he looked stronger than before. His muscles had tightened, his breathing deeper, his reflexes sharper. The poison had become fuel, the medic whispered almost to himself. What are you, Captain? Hale smiled faintly. Human, the unpredictable kind. Before Loran could reply, the doors slid open again. Commander Reth entered, flanked by 2 armored guards. His face was cold, his voice colder. "Captain Hale, you are under medical quarantine." Hale turned, frowning. "For eating fruit?" "For contaminating the crew with unknown biological matter," Reth replied. "You are to remain in isolation until the med team completes their study," Hale sighed. "You're kidding." "I do not joke," the commander said flatly. "You are a security risk," Loran tried to protest. "Commander, wait. I can vouch for him." "You will observe," Reth cut in. "Nothing more." The guard stepped forward, but Hale didn't move. His eyes locked on Reth's, calm and steady. "You really think you can quarantine me?" Reth's mandibles twitched. "It's not a question of if. It's protocol." Hale raised his hand slightly. "All right. Let's not make this ugly." Loran exhaled in relief until the lights flickered. The scanners around them began to pulse faster, red lights flashing in rapid rhythm. The medic looked down. The readings had spiked again. "Oh no, what is it?" Reth demanded. "The toxin levels," Loran said. "They're spreading, not in the air, but inside him." The guards backed away instinctively, weapons half drawn, but Hale didn't seem in pain. He looked focused. A faint red glow shimmered beneath his skin, crawling across his veins like fire. Reth barked, "Contain him!" Loran shouted, "Wait! He's stabilizing!" Everyone froze. The red glow faded just as fast as it appeared. Hale blinked, then smiled. "Told you. My body's just figuring it out." Reth stared at him in disbelief. "You are a danger to this vessel." Hale stepped forward slowly. "No, Commander. I'm the reason this vessel's still flying. Remember who stopped those pirates at Deltar Station? Who fixed your reactor when it was seconds from meltdown?" Reth's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. "Let's face it," Hale said quietly. "You don't trust what you don't understand. But maybe instead of locking it up, you should learn from it." The commander's glare didn't soften, but he lowered his hand. "If you harm anyone on this ship, I won't," Hale interrupted. "Unless they try to take my lunch again." The guards hesitated, unsure whether to laugh or run. Reth turned sharply and left, the doors closing behind him. Loran let out a shaky breath. "You shouldn't provoke him." "Wasn't trying to," Hale said, sitting on the med bed. But someone had to remind him that fear doesn't solve everything. Loran looked at the unopened antidote vial still glowing in his hands. Slowly, he set it down. "You might be right, Captain. Maybe fear isn't the cure either." Hale grinned. "Now you're learning." He stood up, took one last look around the room, and grabbed another death apple from the sample tray. Loran almost laughed. "You're impossible." "Maybe," Hale said, biting into the fruit. "But I'm still here." The ship hummed quietly around them, and for the first time, Loran realized something. This human didn't survive danger. He rewrote it. The medical lab of the Varelian had never been so quiet. Every screen glowed softly in the dark, displaying one name, Captain Raynor Hale. His data filled the entire system: heart rate, blood samples, toxin readings, and molecular scans that looked more like art than science. Medic Loran stood in the center of the room, staring at the results. They didn't make sense. No biological readings ever looked like this. The human's cells were pulsing with light, reshaping themselves over and over again. Each time the poison tried to destroy them, they rebuilt, stronger, faster, smarter. It was evolution happening in real time. Loran leaned closer to the display. "It's impossible," he whispered. The computer answered in its calm, robotic voice. "Error. Contradictory biological behavior detected." Loran rubbed his forehead. "Tell me about it." He tapped the console, zooming in on the blood analysis. The death apple toxin, classified as type 7 neuroacid, had spread through Hale's bloodstream within minutes. But instead of shutting down his system, the toxin had triggered a chain reaction. The human's body wasn't resisting the poison. It was using it. The medic recorded a voice note. Observation. Human subject showing adaptive response at molecular level. Cells converting toxic enzymes into metabolic energy. Neural patterns stable. No signs of distress, he paused. Correction. Subject appears to be enjoying the process. The doors hissed open behind him. Commander Reth stepped in, his tall frame casting a shadow across the lab. "Report, medic," Loran turned, startled. "Commander, I was just about to call you." "You need to see this," Reth crossed his arms. "I came because the crew won't stop talking. They think your human has turned into a walking weapon." Loran hesitated. That might not be far from the truth. The commander's eyes narrowed. Explain. The medic motioned him closer to the main screen. The data shifted into motion, a simulation of Hale's bloodstream. This is what happens when the toxin enters his system. The hologram showed red blood cells glowing faintly as black particles swirled around them. The toxin tried to attack him, but the cells didn't die. They split, absorbed, and multiplied faster than the computer could count. Within seconds, the poison particles were gone. Reth stepped closer. He neutralized it. Not just that, Loran said quietly. He consumed it. Look, the energy readings spike right after. The hologram flashed brighter as the human cell count stabilized at a higher rate. Reth's voice dropped. He's feeding on the toxin? Loran nodded slowly. In a way, yes. His biology is rewriting itself to survive anything that tries to kill it. The commander frowned. That's not biology. That's war, Loran sighed. I thought the same. But it's not aggression. It's adaptation. Like his body's only goal is to live, no matter what it faces. Reth stared at the glowing simulation. No wonder humans are feared even on planets they've never visited. At that moment, the doors slid open again. Captain Hale strolled in, shirt half unzipped, chewing another death apple like it was a snack. You guys talking about me again? Both aliens turned in unison. Reth stiffened immediately. You were told to stay in quarantine. Hale smirked. Yeah, but the door didn't agree. Loran nearly shouted, Stop eating those things. Relax, Doc, Hale said, tossing the apple core into a bin. It hissed, burning a hole through the metal again. It's fine. Reth's tone was like ice. You think you can ignore orders because your body refuses to die? Hale looked him straight in the eyes. No, I ignore orders because I don't like wasting time. The commander took a step closer. You're not a soldier here, human, you're a risk. Hale didn't blink. Maybe, but I'm also your best chance at surviving what's out there. Loran quickly moved between them. Enough, both of you. The medic turned to Hale, trying to keep his voice steady. Captain, please, sit down. Let me show you what's happening inside you. Hale sighed, dropped into a chair, and leaned back. Fine, Doc, impress me. Loran pulled up the hologram again. This is your blood recorded 20 minutes ago. Hale whistled softly. Looks like fireworks. These fireworks mean you're changing, Loran explained. The poison has rewritten your cell structure. You're not just immune anymore, you're adaptable. Adaptable how? Hale asked. You could resist almost any toxin now, Loran said. Maybe even diseases or radiation. Your body learns faster than science can measure. Hale grinned. Guess that explains why I feel great, Reth muttered. You're a biological nightmare. Thanks, Hale said cheerfully. Loran ignored them both and continued. Captain, this means something else. If your body can absorb deadly substances, you could become the key to neutralizing them for others. You mean, be the antidote? Hale asked. In theory, yes, Loran replied. Your immune response could be extracted, replicated, maybe even weaponized. Reth cut in sharply. We are not turning this into a weapon. Loran held up a hand. I agree, but we need to understand it. For all we know, this could save lives, Hale chuckled. Or scare a lot of people. Reth's gaze hardened. Do you realize what would happen if other species learned of this? They'd hunt you, experiment on you. You'd be turned into property. The room went still. Hale looked between them, expression unreadable. Then he said quietly, Let them try. Neither alien spoke. Hale stood, stretching his shoulders. You want to study me, Doc? Fine, just don't forget, and I'm not your specimen. I'm your crewmate, Loran nodded. Understood, Captain. Reth's jaw tightened, but he gave a small nod too. For now. As Hale turned to leave, the hologram flickered again. New readings appeared, even stronger than before. Loran froze. Wait, his adaptation rate is accelerating. Reth's eyes widened. Meaning? Loran whispered. Meaning. He's not done evolving. Hale paused at the door and looked back with that same grin. Told you. Doc, humans don't stop, and then he walked out, leaving behind silence, fear, and the sound of the scanner still beeping like a heartbeat that refused to end. The Varelium floated quietly through the black sea of space. Inside, the crew spoke in whispers. Every hallway, every room carried one name, Captain Raynor Hale, the human who had eaten death and survived. In the med bay, Medic Loran stood by the observation window, watching Hale train in the gym below. The man moved like nothing had happened. He lifted heavy cargo crates with one arm, sweat shining on his skin, muscles flexing under the soft white lights. Every motion radiated power and calm, like danger itself had become part of his heartbeat. Loran turned as the commander entered. "He's adapting even faster," he said quietly. "His strength has doubled since yesterday." Commander Reth folded his arms. "And his arrogance too, I assume." Loran shook his head. "Not arrogance. Something else. He's remembering." Reth frowned. "Remembering what?" "Home," Loran said softly. The commander stepped closer to the glass. "Humans call their planet a death world, don't they?" Loran nodded. "Yes, but I never truly understood what that meant. Until now." Down below, Hale stopped his workout and sat on the floor. He looked up as if he knew they were watching. For a long moment, he didn't move. Then he spoke. His voice carried through the comm system, calm and clear. "You want to know how I do it, Doc?" Loran froze. "How you survive?" "Yeah," Hale smiled faintly. "Guess it's story time." He leaned back against the wall. "Where I come from, we don't have gentle skies or safe oceans. Everything wants to kill you. The heat, the cold, the storms, the animals, even the plants. You wake up every day and the world tries to end you, so you fight it. And when you survive, you wake up stronger." Loran listened in silence. The commander didn't interrupt. Hale continued, voice steady and slow, almost nostalgic. "When I was a kid, I used to pick these little red fruits off trees near my home. My mom said they were bitter, told me not to eat too many, said they build character. Guess she wasn't kidding." He chuckled softly. "Those fruits made me sick for a week once. But the next time I ate them, I didn't get sick. My body remembered. It learned," Loran whispered. "That's what you're doing now." Hale nodded. "Exactly. On my planet, everything learns or it dies. We're not special. We just adapt faster because we have to." Reth spoke for the first time, his voice low. "And you think that's something to be proud of?" Hale looked up toward the observation deck, eyes sharp. "No, Commander. It's something to be grateful for. Because it means no matter what the universe throws at us, we don't stop." The room fell silent again. The hum of the engines filled the space between their words. After a while, Hale stood, grabbing a towel. "You know, Doc, you aliens talk about evolution like it's a choice. But for us, it's survival. Our ancestors crawled through fire and ice. They fought beasts twice their size, diseases that wiped out cities and storms that tore the sky apart. And somehow, we made it." He wiped his face, then smiled faintly. "So when you hand me a fruit and say it's deadly, I believe you. But my body doesn't care. It just gets to work." Loran's hands trembled slightly as he looked down at his scanner. "You make it sound so simple." Hale grinned. "Simple doesn't mean easy." He turned off the comm and walked out of the gym. Minutes later, the door to the med bay opened. Hale stepped in, still calm, towel slung over his shoulder. "Doc," he said, "how about we stop poking me with scanners and start figuring out what this means for everyone else?" Loran blinked. "Everyone else?" "Yeah," Hale said. "If I can survive that toxin, maybe we can find a way to help others survive it too. You said the antidote's rare, right? So maybe my blood's cheaper." Loran stared. "You're volunteering to let me study your blood?" "Sure," Hale said. "Just don't make it weird." The commander stepped forward. "You realize what you're suggesting? You could destabilize entire markets, disrupt medicine across sectors. Or save lives," Hale cut in. "Your choice." Reth hesitated. The human's calm gaze didn't waver. Finally, the commander nodded once. "Fine, proceed, medic, but this is on your head." Hale smiled. "Wouldn't be the first time." Loran prepared the equipment carefully. When he drew Hale's blood, the liquid shimmered faintly, glowing like starlight. He held the vial up in wonder. "It's beautiful." "Don't get romantic," Hale said. "It's still blood." Loran smiled faintly. "Yes, but it's blood that rewrites death." He placed it into the analyzer. The reading spiked instantly, brighter than before. "The system almost overloaded. What's happening?" Reth demanded. "The sample's still alive," Loran said in awe. "It's replicating. It's healing itself." The lights flickered, the machines humming louder. The hologram of Hale's cells appeared again, multiplying, spreading, adapting. The poison markers vanished from the screen entirely. Loran whispered, "Your body turned the toxin into immunity. Permanent immunity." Hale folded his arms. "So next time someone brings snacks, I'm covered." Reth shook his head slowly. You really are from a world built by madness. Maybe, Hale said, looking toward the stars through the viewport. But madness made us strong. For a long moment, no one spoke. The stars drifted silently outside the glass, cold and endless. Then Hale smiled, quiet, confident, unshaken. You see, Doc, we don't eat poison to die. We eat it to remind the universe we're still here. The ship's night cycle had begun. Every corridor glowed in dim blue light, and most of the crew slept, but the medbay was alive with motion. Monitors pulsed, scanners hummed, and in the middle of it all stood Medic Loran, wide-eyed, recording everything that the human was becoming. Captain Raynor Hale lay on the observation bed, calm, eyes half closed. He wasn't restrained. No one dared try again after last time. Instead, he rested there as though the storm inside him had finally quieted. Loran's instruments told another story. Energy output rising again, he muttered. Every hour it climbs higher. Captain, can you hear me? Hale opened one eye. Loud and clear, Doc. You talk in your sleep? Loran didn't smile. You should be exhausted. I was, Hale said softly. Now it feels like the ship's reactor is running through my veins. The medic checked the display. The numbers kept climbing. Heart rate steady, blood pressure perfect, but energy readings far beyond human limits. You're producing radiation, Loran said. But it's stable, controlled. Hale sat up. So, glowing in the dark, huh? Kinda cool. Cool? Loran almost shouted. You're rewriting physics inside your body. The toxin isn't just gone, it's changed you. Hale swung his legs off the bed. Changed me how? The medic hesitated. You're emitting a low-level resonance. The air around you is cleaner. The poison residue in this room, it's gone. Hale looked around. You mean I disinfected the place? Yes, Loran said. Your metabolism neutralized the toxin and released oxygen molecules. You're turning poison into breathable air. For the first time, the human looked truly surprised. Well, that's new. Before Loran could reply, the doors hissed open. Commander Reth entered, his armor gleaming even in the low light. Report. Loran stepped aside, letting him see the readings. He's not dangerous, Commander. At least not in the way we feared. Reth studied the data silently, then turned to Hale. Explain this. Hale raised an eyebrow. Wish I could. All I did was eat your forbidden fruit. The commander's voice hardened. You are not a god, human. You tamper with forces you don't understand. Hale stood, calm but firm. You're right. I'm not a god. Just a guy who doesn't like dying. Reth stepped closer. You are changing the environment of this vessel. My crew feels it. The air tastes different. That's because it's clean, Hale said. You're welcome. The commander's glare deepened, but beneath it flickered unease. Your kind always finds a way to turn danger into power. I've seen your wars. Your machines. Your hunger to survive, Hale met his eyes. You think survival is hunger? It's habit, Loran quickly intervened. Please, both of you. Commander, this could be a breakthrough. He may be the first living being to reverse a lethal compound by instinct alone. We can learn from him. Reth's voice dropped. Or we can fear him. Hale folded his arms. I get that a lot. The commander turned to leave but paused at the door. Be careful, human. Sometimes evolution costs more than survival is worth. When he was gone, the silence returned. Loran sat heavily on a stool, rubbing his temples. He's not wrong, you know. About what? Hale asked. About cost. You're changing faster than any body should. If this continues, I don't know where it stops. Hale thought for a moment. Maybe that's the point. Maybe it doesn't. Loran looked up. You talk like this is normal. Back home, Hale said, nothing is normal. You learn to live with it or you die wishing you did. The medic sighed. I'm starting to think your planet breeds miracles. Or monsters, Hale said quietly. The console beeped again. Loran frowned at the new reading. Captain, your neural activity just spiked. Something's happening in your brain. Hale rubbed the back of his neck. Feels like a headache. Loran dimmed the light, switching to scanner mode. The hologram above them flickered, showing Hale's brain in glowing lines. Connections lit up like stars, my stars, Loran whispered. You're forming new neural pathways. The toxin didn't just change your body. It's improving your mind, Hale blinked. Improving? You're processing faster, your reflexes, reaction time, even memory storage. It's as if your brain decided to evolve ahead of schedule. The human gave a small laugh. Guess I'll finally remember where I leave my tools. Loran didn't laugh. Do you understand what this means? You could adapt to anything, disease, radiation, even deep space exposure. Sounds useful, Hale said. Useful? Loran stared. You could outlive your own species. That silenced the room. Hale looked down at his hands. They glowed faintly beneath the skin, a gentle red light tracing along his veins. I never asked for that, he said softly. I know, Loran replied. But nature rarely asks permission. A soft alarm chimed. Loran turned to another screen. Wait, the air filters aren't working. You're doing it again. The room's oxygen just increased by 20%. Hale flexed his fingers. So now I'm a life support system. More like a walking ecosystem, Loran murmured. Whatever you've become, Captain, it's beyond human. Hale looked up at him with a calm, tired smile. Maybe, but it still feels like me. He stood and walked toward the viewport. Outside, the stars glittered against the void, silent witnesses to every story of survival. Funny thing, Doc, Hale said softly. The more this changes me, the more I remember where I came from. Loran tilted his head. And where's that? A place that tried to kill us every day, Hale said. We called it home. For a long moment, neither spoke. The hum of the engines filled the quiet, steady, and alive. Finally, Loran said, Captain, what will you do now? Hale turned, his eyes reflecting the stars. Same thing humans always do. And that is? He smiled. Keep moving forward. The lights brightened as the ship shifted into warp. The medbay filled with white glow, wrapping the human in a halo of light. Loran whispered to himself, awed and afraid. He isn't surviving the universe anymore. He's becoming part of it.